The new Guild Wars 2 expansion is only 1 week away, and there's a lot to be excited for. New maps, new elite specs, new legendaries to grind, and it's gonna be a very interesting story. That being said, well, how do you prepare for it? What do you actually need to have done this week to be ready to just blast the new expansion as soon as it comes out? On this video, we're going to go through exactly that for new players, for veteran players, and for everything in between. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Go to my Ko-Fi if you want to support my content. Go to my Twitch to watch me live every morning, and let's get into it. The first thing you want to do is create a character if you don't have one. And of course, pick the class you're gonna want to play. I heavily recommend you go check out the videos showing off every one of the new elite specs so you can pick a class that, well, you're interested in trying their new type of content. I have a lot of videos about tier lists and talking a little bit about every one of these elite specs so you can make a decision, but, well, it's all about your own opinion on what's cooler for you, so you're gonna have to make this decision yourself. After this, you want to get your new character to level 80, doing the normal quest line, doing map exploration, and of course you can also even level up by doing PvP, which is honestly pretty fun. This will also teach you very well how each of your classes work, and you can make a good decision because you'll be able to see all of your character's abilities, especially in PvP, as they give you all the abilities from level 80, even from level 1. The other option is to level up with a booster that usually comes with one of the expansions. You absolutely can do this, just be careful though, because it might become a little bit overwhelming to try all these builds instantly. I will all the abilities instantly. So I will heavily recommend you to, if you're gonna do that, to try the class on PvP first before you actually make a decision. But it's definitely something you can do if you just want to speedrun into the next expansion, which I may say Guild Wars 2 is not really about. It's all about exploration. You don't really need to rush up, but if that's what you like, you definitely can do that. The next thing will be to pick up a build for your class. There's multiple of them, and you can go to Snorkels to check the exact gear you want. But as a general rule for PvE at least, full Berserkers for power builds, full Vipers for Condi builds, and Minstrels for healing builds. There's also Diviners and Ritualists for Bone DPSers, and you should definitely check the build that you need and what gear it requires, but it's not super hard. Especially now that you can buy an insane amount of gear from War vs. World and just get whatever type of gear you need from these vendors. Even though it's exotic is well enough to do most of the content in the game. Essentially everything but fractals. Speaking of builds to pick, I will heavily recommend you to check out what types of build already exist on the new specs. For example, if you're gonna play Evoker, you can already check the type of gear you're gonna play, Power or Condi. There's probably gonna be a healing build anyways, but for now, these are the ones that exist. And if you want to play Power, for example, you can pick this build it up, and for now, play a build that uses the same gear, for example, Power Catalyst Scepter Dagger. This applies for most builds that are new on the new elite specs, so you can really just get 2 builds in one go. Another thing that is important is for you to get your hero points by doing hero challenges. This will give you a new elite spec that you're gonna want to use, well, to be ready to do the expansion. You can absolutely do the expansion with just core, but the elite specs are pretty good. And you can even start stacking the hero points to 250. So as soon as the expansion comes out, you instantly unlock the new elite spec that comes in with the expansion. This is absolutely doable, by the way. As you can see here on my Ranger, I already have all of my elite specs unlocked, and there's many hero challenge points that I do not have unlocked. And because I'm a lazy bastard, I'm going to the Heroics Notary Hero Challengers guy and use my beautiful Testament of Jade Heroics from doing War vs. World. I'm gonna spend them in order to get myself all of those hero points for free. Now, of course, you can just do a hero point run instead, whatever is easier for you, but as I said before, I'm lazy. I don't want to do that. So instead, I'm just gonna unlock all of them, and here we go. I have 404 unspent hero points. This is almost enough to get another expansion worth of elite specs on this one character. So yeah, this is very good. Now this obviously requires you to possess the expansions with those hero point challenges. So which ones should you buy on the new one that is coming out? Well, of course you can just start with that one, and that should be more than enough. But if you really want to go hard, I'll recommend you buying the Path of Fire and Heart of Thorns expansions, as they will be giving you mounts, 2 sets of elite specs, and also all of the gliding masteries, which will be very useful for the new expansion. They also will give you mounts in mushrooms, which you most likely will want to use. You also will be getting Path of Fire that will give you the skimmer mount, and unlocking all these masteries will make your skimmer that you are gonna get on the new expansion way more powerful. There's also way more stuff from the Heart of Thorns and Path of Fire masteries that you can get, like the Griffin Mount, Royal Beetle, Raptor, and Living Room Season 4 you can get Sky Scale, which is pretty nice, as well as all of these special abilities that you can use in your mounts, like the Bond of Faith and the Bond of Vigor. You know, one to just shoot you out of your mount, and the other one to give you more vigor to dash more times. But all those things are just optional, not really necessary. The next option in terms of expansions that you should buy is probably Seekers of the Obscure, as it will familiarize you a little bit with the wizards, which seem to be an important point in the latest expansion. We don't know to what extent, but to understand a little bit better about the expansion, this is definitely not a bad idea. I think this is my obvious prediction that we're gonna deal with more of the Seekers of the Obscure story more than the actual Janther Wilds one. We'll definitely have to see. That being said, Seekers of the Obscure also gives you new weapons, the ability to get all the elite specialization specific weapons to any specialization. It gives you rifts that you can farm, and you will absolutely be able to farm in the new expansion. And there's some cool masteries that you can get here to make it more worthwhile. And it'll also give you the Sky Scale for free, which is a great amount to just explore the new expansion with. The ones that I would really recommend you getting is Everything in Flight Trading in Seekers of the Obscure Masteries, Rift Guidance, just to start your rifts, although I'm pretty sure the new expansion will just allow you to do this anyways, even without the mastery, but might as well get it. And if you're interested in the legendary or making a lot of gold, I will recommend you get to Wayfinder Mastery, as this will get you a special exchange currency vendor that really has a lot to give for literally everything in the game and other expansions. The next expansion I'll recommend you buying is Janther Wilds, mainly because of the story. We might be having something here from the story leading up to the new one, but to be honest, the big thing you want to get here is the homesteads. There's gonna be a new homestead in the new expansion, and if you don't have Janther Wilds, you're not gonna be able to get this content, which is pretty sad, but it is what it is. If you're interested in housing, this is a very important thing for you. The Warclaw in Janther Wilds is also super nice to use. You only want to get the Fallen Reflexes, so you can jump mid-air, which is very useful. Honestly, almost makes it as good as the Sky Skill in Seekers of the Obscure. And you also need the Lowland Spear training to be able to use your special spear from Janther Wilds. And you should go for every one of the homesteading masteries if you're interested in homesteading. Big one between Seekers of the Obscure and Janther Wilds. Janther Wilds for the homestead and the spear, Seekers of the Obscure for the Sky Skill, the new weapons, and the elite specialization mastery that makes you be able to just get everything in one go. Be able to use any weapon from elite specs in any other spec. Should you get yourself End of Dragons? Probably not. It doesn't really have anything that you really need for the new expansion. The only thing that is kind of interesting that might be pretty useful are the skiffs and the fishing, if you're interested in that, especially when this expansion being a water expansion. But other than that, there's not really anything other than the fact that End of Dragons is an insanely good expansion with the best content in the entire game, in my opinion at least. Now we just talked about all these masteries that you want to get. Well, how do you get them, and how can you actually get the new masteries that you will definitely need to get on the new expansion once it launches? Well, there's a few tricks you can use. In order to get masteries in any expansion, you can just go look in the map and search for these little symbols. You just have to go in there, press F, and you'll get a mastery point. Then you're gonna have to go into your hero panel, into masteries, and you're gonna see that you're gonna need a specific amount of mastery points to unlock the one you need. You're also gonna have to fill up your bar to the maximum in experience to unlock it. If you're missing mastery points, you can go to the achievements panel, and you're gonna see that each of the categories tells you if you're missing some mastery points. You can go in here and click it, and then it'll show you on the other side if there's an achievement that can give you something. But what about the experience? Well, you can of course do any sort of event, and that will give you a lot of experience, skill of enemies, doing story steps, and so on and so on. There's one little thing that you should definitely do before starting the expansion that will give you a lot of experience, and that is getting you as many buffs as you can that give you experience. So let's go through them. Talk to the Baronter in your guild and get yourself your XP gain booster. Get yourself a lucky Draketail, or many of them actually. Get into any mount and start spamming them in order to get the buff to the maximum amount, which is up to 2 hours. If you have Secretly Obscure or Jump Through Wilds, get yourself the mastery to rest in Wizard's Tower or to rest in your homestead. Leave your character right here, log out, and by the end of it, you'll get yourself a very good experience buff. Oh yeah, you can actually do this in Arborstone from End of Dragons as well. Or if you just sit on a chair from literally anyone. I forgot about the Snowflake Gobbler, but you can't really get that right now. This also helps. Ascended food that most people just drop in the middle of every meta. The powerful potion of slaying Scarlet's armies also gives you 50% experience from kills, which is very useful. Although any potion already gives you 10% anyways. Spirit Banner that people usually drop anyways from the Mystic Forge Attendant. And Guild Hero Banners as well that will give you a lot of experience buff. Although, as I said before, just like the Spirit Banners, they'll be dropped all around the new expansion because people want this buff anyways. Get yourself your experience enrichment from any Laurel vendor and put it on your amulet. This is the wrong one. And get yourself a birthday or celebration booster, as well as an experience booster that can come from here, from a heroic booster, or from the Carnicorn Gobbler that you can buy right now from Halloween in the gem store, which will give you infinite of this experience buff whenever you want. I heavily recommend you to buy this item if you want to farm a lot in Guild Wars 2. And look at that beautiful bar full of buffs to help you get yourself your experience instantly. There's one more thing that you must do before actually starting your expansion journey. And that is cleaning your disgusting inventory. Probably not as disgusting as the one I have right here, but it's Guild Wars 2, guys. You can't really get away from this. Thankfully for you, I have a beautiful guide on how to clean all of your bags very easily. So I'll leave it in the description down below so you can, have a better time. But you should absolutely do this, otherwise you will absolutely quit in the middle of the expansion because you don't want to deal with your inventory being full all of the time. So there you go, that's the entire video. That's exactly what you should be doing in the order. Hopefully this helped you. If there's anything that you have questions for, you can ask me in my Twitch, you can ask me in the comments, whatever is fine. I'll be there streaming a lot in the new expansion anyways, and I have a few more videos coming out, particularly why you should or shouldn't come back to Guild Wars 2 this expansion, as well as other big products I have. So definitely subscribe to the channel for those, and yeah, see you guys around. Love you all. Ciao ciao.